Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here, and oh boy, it's late at night, but we got new changes, and oh boy, just today was released a big advisor change, yeah, advisors reworked, and there's been quite a few of them changed, so let's get through them as soon as possible, but also there's been some changes that I didn't go through, so there are like 2 patches and there have been some small changes that are quite important to me in some way. Okay, let's get to them. So, first update from September 26th. Okay, balance changes nothing. Sparta PvP update. Rank seasonal progress and personal stats now available. You can find these features under the stats page in the Sparta PvP UI. Now this one is gonna be somewhat important. Pretty much if you go here to Sparta, here you can see the button for stats, and here you will find the seasonal progress and stats. I'm not a PvP player, but for those of you who play PvP, yeah, you can find stuff like this. And I guess if you play enough, if you win enough games, you get a lot of Sparta points. For some reason, like you need them. Oh boy. Okay. Now let's get back to the changes. So bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the champion joined forces quest didn't have rewards for its optional objective. This quest is one of the new ones from Zabul, and this one for some reason just did not have in the quest description shown the rewards for the optional objective. That's pretty much the whole thing. Fixed various tooltips, issues for Rostam in Zabul's quest difficulty descriptions. Okay. Quest update added back the guaranteed legendary chest to 5-star quest. This is important because last patch when they changed the cooldowns to from 12 days to 6 days and from 6 days to 3 days, some of the 5-star legendary quests, well only Branos got changed to 3 days. They got removed the guaranteed legendary chest from the quest reward. Well, now they got it back, and with the Zabul quest back, there is one 5-star quest that is also 3 days and did not have it. So, if we go back to the game, go to Zabul, and take a look at the quest rewards. Come on, load it. So, you go here, and it's the Terrainian Trouble. So you can see it's a 5-star, 3 days, and there's your guaranteed legendary chest. In this case it's for a secondary objective. In case of Renos it's for the primary objective, so you'll find the legendary just as back. Satisfaction guaranteed. Okay. Joint Forces made adjustments to the AI for it to focus more on booming defense so it won't kill the enemy general as fast as it used to. Yeah, there's some issues in this quest where people have issues killing the cataphracts and the main general, and the AI is just so fast for them. I did the quest only once, did not have the issue with it, so it got changed, and we'll get to it. So yeah, so Double Arena quest, lower the base coin reward for all unit micro quests to 100 coin for around 300 coins. I think those quests are so fast, so for 300 coins, I guess you would earn so many coins just by doing those. I guess it's fine. Champion totally Terrainian, difficulty rating reduced to 2-star from 3-star. This is different than the Terrainian Travel, okay? This is different quest. This is the fast one. I already did this one. In this case it's a champion one, and for some reason that one had 3-star difficulty instead of 2-star. Don't ask me how difficult it is. I'm not really interested in those champion mode quests. Resistance insists on added additional units to the quest map to ensure that the main objective can be completed. Yeah, some people were too fast. There was never enough units to kill. You have to kill like 300 units in this quest. They were too fast, would not complete it. Okay, art updates added a new icon for Legion Warlord's Greaves so it doesn't overlap with Greaves of Enkidu. I think this one was in the last patch as well, so I don't know if it's like officially there now or it's just a mistake here. Okay, champion mode changes. Now, I'm not gonna go through these, but with the champion mode quests now available, I'm planning to do some video about the champion mode, what's like the difference between it and the classic quest. So I would like to ask you, do you want me to go through these changes? Because when these changes are here, there's just a whole bunch of them and I hate to read I hate to go through all of those. Just I don't really care about the champion mode that much. So for me, I don't really want to go through those. But if you want me to go through those, I guess I could do something like a fast preview of those. Just tell me in the comments if I should do so. Okay, another art update added a new icon for Esfandia's blessed breastplate, so it doesn't overlap with breastplate of Alexander. I don't know why, but they changed the breastplate of Alexander somehow, so it looked like the Esfandias. Now they changed the Esfandias, and breastplate of Alexander looks different. I just don't know why. I got so used to the old one, now it looks weird. Okay, UI updates, added new tooltips for champion mode, quest difficulty rating descriptions. I think if we take a look at those, it's these descriptions. This is a 5-star champion quest. These quests are the most difficult of all champion mode quests, but will reward it. Yeah, they have like 5-star, 2-star, slightly harder than their 1-star counterparts, still very much doable for most players. Yeah, it's pretty much these descriptions that got changed. And also they got those red stars. Okay, so that's that. Other updates, remove the legendary character files. Yeah, that's something internal. So removed legendary character files from offline mode as they were intended only for internal usage. Yeah, nothing to really worry about. Added partial support for the simplified Chinese language. Further translations will be added to the game over time. Oh boy, we'll get some Chinese into the game. Okay, let's move on to the next patch notes. So October 3rd. Sparta PvP updates. This is pretty much just different maps for PvP. So yeah, that's that. Champion mode changes again. Reminder, if you want me to go through these, just ask me in the comments for some past previews, because these changes, just look at these. That's just a lot of changes. God damn. Okay, art updates, nothing. UI updates. This one is something annoying to me. Adjusted the quest map UI to allow for more space for the quest list section, making it easier to navigate through the list of available quests. You might have noticed this, but if you open the map, look how big this is all of a sudden. It was much smaller. I think it was like something like where the Well of Earth text is. That's how big it was from the top to the Well of Earth. Now it's like half of it, or maybe 40% rather. But look how small the description for quest there is. I wanna check those rewards. Now I have to like go through this. I don't know people. I don't know people. I seriously don't like it. I would rather see those rewards better than this, because I'm not really using this. If I want to find a location, I click on the world map, find the locations. So let's say I want to go for Babylon, I click on India because I'm so used to I'm so used to there being the Babylon button. So instead I click on Mesopotamia now, and here's Babylon, and I just double click and I'm there. I'm so used to using the map now, not this one. It just feels like I would rather turn it back, but if it helps someone, I guess it's fine. But I would rather have the choice. Okay, that's pretty much all from the October 3rd. Now October 10th, and this is the main part of this patch preview, and that's the advisory works. So it's gonna be just like the text as usual, not having the graphics. PF2K unfortunately did not have time to make those graphics, otherwise we wouldn't get the updates today, or rather for me yesterday. Okay, advisor update, and thank god I did only the Greek advisor sets, because now I feel like there are many more options for the other sets. For Greeks it's not really that different. So Colonel Lycurgus, and I'm just gonna make it as simple as possible. So old one, cavalry armor. In Bronze Age, new one keeps the cavalry armor and adds splash damage resistance. So if you like the Lycurgus before, he's pretty much same, but adding a small bonus, the splash damage resistance. For Spearman, you're gonna notice it mainly in quests like Memphis, where you're going against elephants. So Spearman only because I think it's gonna be the biggest difference against the elephants, like I said. I mean, at this point those Spearmen just won't die. It feels so strong. And if not against the elephants, then there's always the enemy fortress you have to destroy, and usually there's quite a few fortresses there, so against fortresses it's gonna be nice for the Spearmen. For hoplites, it's a nice bonus. It's definitely gonna be noticeable in, I think, Egyptian quests, because Egyptians have just so many units with splash damage. That's just the Axemen with champion upgrades, elephants, elephant archers, catapults, even palindromes. Just oh, that's so many units. And if there's water, maybe even some boats would be there. So yeah, that's a lot of splash. Other than that, it might be just one or two units from the other civs, so not a huge difference. Personally, I feel like I have better option for H2 advisor, but yeah, Spearman only quests definitely makes it easier for Greeks. And yeah, if you're like going for hoplites and like using Lycurgus, it's just better. So good for you. Leonidas. Okay, pretty much he just got buff numbers, so health regen increased from 1.5 to 2 health per second, and the health bonus increased from 15 to 20%. I'm just gonna go for the epic ones. I don't really want to go through the other rarities because it will be just too long. But yeah, it's a nice buff to Leonidas. If you like going hoplites, it's just better. If you like him before, he's just better now. So that's an option. I think it's more like a reaction to Tisamenos advisor in H3. I don't really go Tisamenos that often. It's maybe few quests occasionally. And personally, I prefer Verkasivilanos over these two advisors because it makes it more, I would say, adaptable. Because if I want to go Hippospis, I go Hippospis. If I want to go Hoplite, I go Hoplite. And I don't have to feel sad about using this specific advisor, which makes this one unit better, but not the other. So for me, it's that. But if you are going mainly Hoplites, Leonidas is the choice. If you like Hippospis more in your current situation, Samenos is there. and where Castellanos works just fine. So it's a nice change. Good for you if you like Leonidas. And yeah, as you can see, Greek advisors just got some buffs, so not really need to remake the video about the advisor sets for Greeks. It's pretty much the same. Egyptian advisor General Senep. That was the fortress advisor that felt like not bad, but kinda useless. That you don't really need him. So old fortress is more resistant to bonus damage and getting attack rate. New one, and I kinda like this one. Siege units deal 25% bonus damage against buildings. For Egyptians, that's siege towers, catapults, and palintons. And probably the most notable would be the catapults. And I think this makes for a nice option when you're going with Sobek infantry and add some catapults as a backline to your infantry meat shield. So it's another option. I still think I would prefer the Tavaret Sandal Maker for movements before my infantry over this one. I don't really feel like catapults need more damage against buildings. They just do already so much damage. I don't really feel like I need it, but it's a nice option. You can try it. Definitely a good one. Okay, Celtic one. Grand Magistrate Divitiacus. Pretty much, he just added a new effect for Sacred Groves that makes them cost 50% less. So that's 75 wood less per Sacred Grove. And gear is not included, obviously. So yeah, Divitiacus. I don't know how many of you use him. I'm not really using him. It just feels like farms in the late game are just gonna be better for me. And for Divitiacus to be somewhat better, I feel like I need to use Shahriar H1, that's the sheep advisor from town centers, to get the higher herdable gather rate and to make it even faster than the tier 3 farming upgrade. So yeah, for me it's just sacrificing 2 advisors to get slightly more food than from farms. From farms, like, yeah, okay, that's definitely gonna be better early, but I feel like if I go with the farms, I'm gonna get late game more food because I can now use H2 like thought, and effectively it's gonna be even better than those 2 advices together. Uh, it just feels better, and I also get the train time reduction, so I spawn villagers faster. Personally, I like this change because I feel like it makes Divitiacus more useful to me and it makes it easier to get those sacred groves. So I like the change, but I don't like going with him because I feel like it's sacrificing 2 advisors for something worse than I can get late game. That's just the whole thing about it. He's good. He's definitely good. It can be useful to go with those 2 for some early game boosts, but later I feel like later you would be better with farms. But if you're going more for the early game, definitely better choice, in my opinion. Oh, but let's move on. Commander Esfandia. So one of the upgrades from Esfandia are Tamarisk arrows, which gave 50% maximum range to the immortals. Yeah, it was questionable, like, to even use it, because why would I want bigger range on my immortals if I can just go bowman, which even get more range than immortals, and they are even cheaper. Well, I guess I need all those upgrades, but still feels cheaper than going with immortals for maximum range. So they tried to change this and now it's 25% more range and 25% ranged attack rate. I think this actually increases the range DPS output. It makes the range DPS output higher than the melee DPS output, although I still feel like I would prefer picking the melee damage, but with the range damage you can actually have more immortals attacking at the same time with the ranged attacks. It kinda makes sense. I guess it makes it somewhat comparable, but I see one disadvantage with this, that immortals don't use ranged attacks against buildings. That's pretty much it. So it's gonna be against units. It's definitely gonna be useful. How much more useful? I can't even tell, to be honest. It's gonna be interesting. I wonder how long it will stay like this. Maybe people will use it. Maybe they'll prefer it more than the melee crit damage. What do I know? I'm not really a Persian player. So tell me, what do you think about this change? Let's move on. Rostam, Guardian of the Land. So pretty much he got it. New effect. Asabaras deal 20% more damage with the addition of the health. And Takabaras and mounted archers keep their attack rate and range and line of sight. So pretty much this is mainly about the Asabaras. And oh boy. Asabaras deal 20% more damage. I actually made a set here. I'm not gonna make it again for the Hippicans, but pretty much if I use like Sword of Tiberius, Rostam Shield, Grasp Armor, and Master Assassin's Gauntlet, and then Rostam, unfortunately for units that's not showing the values, get all what I need. If we take a look at this, this is pretty much close enough with the health to what I have on my Hippicans, although my Hippicans are using Zach's sword. If I was using Tiberius, I would have much more health on them. But damage wise, man, you have to imagine there's 20% more. Like I said, Rostam does not have it here yet. But you get like 96, and if I had the Tiberius or Hippicans, this would be really close. And I'm not joking, this would be really close to the damage output of Hippican. So in my opinion, the Rostam change makes it so Asamaras are very close power wise to the Hippicans. Asamaras have some advantage though. They are available already in Bronze Age, so you can get those upgrades for them sooner. So their champion upgrade, they are slightly faster than Hippicans. And most notably, they are even cheaper and have lower training time. So it should be easier for you to mass Asabaras than Hippicans. And also, if you feel like it's too slow, you have the toggleable tech, make it even faster for higher price. So yeah, Asabaras, I mean, for me they were a good choice, good option even before. Now they are just better. So yeah, I wonder how many people will start going with Asabaras now with Rostam. It's gonna be interesting to see. Okay, Xerxes the Great. Man, all three Persian advisors getting changed. Oh boy. Well, for Xerxes, we get 25% attack range for war weapons. And it's a good change, obviously. It gives more value to the advisor. It just makes me sad that it's again with the range and not something different, because everyone just keeps going maximum range. Oh boy, I get it, it's good, but I would love to see something more original than this. But okay, 25% attack range, it definitely makes them great. And with I think the base range is like 27 on War Wagons, so with the advisor you get something like 34, 35 maximum range now, so yeah, really good change, right? That can outrange some stuff, most notably towers. Let's move on. Grandmaster Guards has pretty much added the effect, and I like this effect. Cost 10% less. And yeah, gun effects just cost a lot of resources. 250 resources per gun effect. That's a lot of resources. God damn. Yeah, 100 food to 150 gold going down by 10%. This should help a little bit. I'm just I'm still not sold completely if I should go with Gar's Hasp over Bahram, to be honest. I get it that Bahram, for Bahram effect I need the Wanderer to actually kick in, but 20% more movement speed and lower training time without me needing to turn on the toggle attack for higher cost and lower training time, it just feels also good. So yeah, Gas has at least is available once you reach H4, but Bottom is more flexible. I can go with anything I like. That's what I really like about it. But I need the Wonder, which takes time to build. Yeah, I mean, this is good change for Cataphracts. I like it. Great buff. I wanna see more Cataphracts. Hopefully in the future. Royal Treasure Badia. That was the advisor which made champion upgrades cost 80% less, which depending how many champion upgrades you grabbed, could be really good. But most likely you did not pick that many, so it would not save you that much gold in the end. So now it's buildings built in 40% less time, but cost 15% more. Oh boy, I think it's similar to the other Persian advisor, I think Ormazdian or something like that was the name. But that advisor is for technology. So in this case it's buildings. I'm not really sure I like this. Like, yeah, 40%, that's a lot of time saved, but 15% more? I don't know about that. Like, spending, that's a lot of resources you can spend on those. Just, oh boy. Personally, I'm not really sold on this advisor. It feels like I don't want to pay too many resources. You could put Hadrian's walls on Persian buildings, though, with this advisor to lower the increased cost. But it's 15%. Hang on. Is it really 15% for the epic one, or is it 6%? Because I'm not really. I think it should be higher, right? I did not check that. God damn. Oh boy, I'm not checking it. You can check it for yourself. But I guess 15% is for the epic one, with the 40% over time. I'm not really sold on this. I don't really like getting a benefit, but for higher cost, it just does not feel right to me. So, not my preference, but if you like him, tell me how it goes for you. Let's move on. War Leader Biorix. And oh boy, he got reworked again. This is getting on a this is getting on the level of Rise in League of Legends at this point. Oh boy. But this time it could be it. So from the poison damage over time on hard jars, we now get Berserker boost Berserkers cost 10% less, which is huge because Berserkers are goddamn expensive units. Move 10% faster, in my opinion, that's a nice boost. But from my experience, and I don't know why, I've been trying Verka Sevelanos and it just did not feel right. But with this, I guess it's fine as a nice boost. And have 10% more health, which is great because if you're using Chiefs, 10% more health can be a lot of health. And one more bonus, and this is actually for Chief. Chief deals 100% more damage. If you've checked the Chief's stats, then you know Chief does not do little damage, especially if you put some damage on them. Oh boy. And I have took some screenshot and oh boy, something funny. I saw a Chief hitting a building from full health. It was a critical hit. And this is the result. And I'm not joking, it was just the one hit from the Chief. This amount of damage was dealt to the building with just one critical hit from the Chief. I'm like, oh boy, yes. Oh boy. That's the smashing power of Chief right there, believe me. Oh boy, I wanna see some funny moments with that, like smashing someone's head with the big hammer and just hurting. Yeah, this is definitely a really nice change. I'm kinda sad that the devs moved away from the poison damage because it was something original in my opinion and felt like an interesting idea. I guess people did not really like it. I feel like if it went up, and I'm not gonna joke about this if I say if it went up to like 100 additional damage over 2 seconds, it would be so much better. But I guess the damage over time effects are like hard to balance because if you put in really high number, it can be devastating for units with high armor. But if you put in low number, it's gonna do nothing. So it's kind of hard to balance it. It's hard. It's just hard, and not to mention that if you deal damage over time to units, they'll just keep running around while they are taking the damage because they're confused, and it's somewhat annoying. So yeah, I guess it's something good. Berserkers, I feel like Berserkers might become again really strong powerhouse, or rather much better powerhouse than they were recently. And this is like only part of it. I feel like there's one more advisor change that helps with this a lot. And the chief bonus is just a nice bonus present. The Berserkers one, definitely the most important one. And I think the biggest part on this advisor is gonna be the cost because Berserkers just cost so much gold. You just need a lot of caravans to maintain the production of Berserkers. It just hurts. I, I was like, I'm gonna remove the mag from them because I just couldn't and I just couldn't look at the high cost. I wanted to lower their cost to save some space on the caravans at that point. It worked, but I guess with this, oh boy, I wonder how well Bioryx is gonna be. I still kinda miss the old Bioryx effect with the gold trickle in. It just felt good. I don't know why they removed it. Let's move on. Axe throw Agwald pretty much increased the range and line of sight from 35% to 50%. It seems like a huge number, but remember, Throwing Axeman has only 10 base range, so it goes from 13.5 to 15. That's not bad. I think, isn't that like on the level of like Celtic Slinger? That's not the worst range, to be honest. It just, I don't know, it just makes me ask, is it worth over the other H2 advisors? Who knows? Definitely buff. I wonder what people will do with throwing Axeman, if anything. And this one, Bear Hunter Thorhild, which again makes me somewhat sad. So pretty much movement speed stayed, but the health got changed into attack range. And again, it makes me sad because it's attack range and it's just going with the attack range. Oh boy, I just feel like there's no other option for the ranged units, and that makes me sad. With the health, it felt more interesting because, like, instead of like going with high range and staying far behind, with the health, I could just get close and not really feel afraid of losing them because they wouldn't die so fast. Now it's just again more range, and the Norse bowman can now easily reach over 40 range. Again, makes me sad in this way. It's H3 advisor though, so question is it worth sacrificing some other advisor on this? I guess if you're focusing on ranged units, it works. Maybe I'll try something with this. Maybe instead of movement speed, it could be just damage. I don't know. I don't really like the range, but it's a good change in some way. Grand Chef Bjorn. So pretty much he was increasing health to Spearman and for Axeman. He keeps that, but it's been reduced from 25% to 15%, but now also grants 15% more damage to both of those units. It's a nice change. I tried him. It felt interesting. The issue I have or had was the fact that both of those units don't really get that high DPS output. So now with the more damage change, this can be interesting. Yeah, the Norse Spearmen are just made to be more like a tank unit, a meat shield unit. And the Throwing Axemen, the health, it's nice because they have low range, but their damage output is not the highest. They're more about countering the enemy infantry units, and with the champion upgrade, they are really good against infantry units that also have some infantry armor. And the higher the armor, the better effect it is, obviously. So yeah, I like this change. I guess I'm gonna try them again. I wanna see what's gonna happen, and I guess combining with them with Agwald could be interesting. So I wanna see what's gonna happen. It's definitely not gonna be the fastest army, but oh boy. Okay, Shieldmaker Ingrid pretty much just got increased the crit chance from 10% to 15%. And it's for raiders. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it's a nice change. Raiders have their own issue. I like raiders, but you just need a whole bunch of them to be able to do something. And oh boy, walls are the worst enemy for them. It's a nice change. I like it. It felt somewhat weak before. I tried it like once and just did not feel right. It felt like Agamemnon was better. Let's move on. It's a nice change. Okay, it's a good change. Casus the Rage, and this one is actually a nerf. So pretty much The house gold generating is same. 4 additional houses is the same. The difference is officer units cost 1 population. That's the old one. The new one is officer units cost 1 less population. So instead of lowering it, the population cost to 1, it's been being lowered by 1. Now this might look huge, but it's not really that huge. It actually affects only 2 of those officer units, because centurions and aquilifers cost 2 population. So lowering it down to 1 or by 1 is pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same. So you will not notice the difference there. It's gonna be on Decurions and Primus Pilus. In case of Primus Pilus, it's only 1 unit. And yeah, that's pretty much the nerf from Primus Pilus. It's like -2 population saved. And for Decurions, it's -1 per Decurion saved. Yeah. So yeah, and since you can train up to 14 Decurions, that's -14 population there. With the Primus Pilus, that's -16 population in total. That might seem huge, but I'll be honest, I still feel like Crassus the Rage is like one of the most broken advisors in the game, even after this nerf. Yeah, first of all, 4 houses, 20 more population. The gold income, you can use this to delete some caravans. And I think you can safely delete like 20 caravans with this. So I'm gonna say we're gonna delete 20 caravans, so that's 40 population already. That's 20% more population for you that you can spend on your army. That's a lot of units. And if you're going with all of the officer units, I'll be honest, before it was like 90 population being saved, and I'm not joking when I say that, I swear. Now it's like 70 because you get how much? You get 14 Decurions, 12 Centurions, 6 Aquilifers, and 1 Primus Pilus. So that's 34, 35 units, so now it's 35 population saved. If you go with all of those officer units. If you're not going with them, well, you can use the population somewhere else, pretty much. But if you go with all of the officer units, that's a lot of population saved. And in total, like over 70 population saved? That's so much space. Not gonna lie, it's still too much. It's still too much. So yeah, it's a start of the nerf streak for Crassus, but goddamn, please nerf him someone more. It's just not right. Goddamn, 70 population. That's too much. Let's move on. Supply line specialist Celia. So movement speed for villages and caravans from Milarians is increased from 10 to 15%. I just don't like Celia. I like you can buff her, but I'm not gonna use her because it just does not feel worth. On villagers, definitely not worth. But on caravans, this can be worth because 15% more movement speed, that's 15% more gold generated over time. So on caravans it can be useful, but I feel like I would still pick Dumnorix or Xeno over this one. Oh, but I would rather pick something else. I'm not gonna pick those advisors for caravans. Yeah, I feel like the other advisors are still better choice than this one. Okay, simple explanation. Xeno is good if you don't have long enough distance, because 30% more gold trade is just 30% bigger income, and 15% movement speed is just 15% more gold. Dumnorix has weaker movement speed. It's 8%, so it's a little over 50% of the effect. However, you also get the caravans cheaper, which means you can reach the targeted number of caravans sooner, and the cost is just gonna help you. And that's what I feel like is more important than increasing the movement speed. And also, you have to build those millenniums, so that's additional cost on that. And depending on the distance, that can be quite a few millenniums. Now they are not that expensive, but still spending like what, 100 wood on millennium early? Is it really worth? Okay, I'm gonna spend it later, but then the advisor is useless because it's not doing anything until I get those millenniums. So yeah, I feel like I don't wanna use this advisor because either I have to spend additional wood because of the millenniums, or it's doing nothing for me. So I don't like her personally. If you like her, good for you. Try her, she's better. I just don't like her. Okay, and I think that's all the Civ specific ones. And let's move on to the general ones. So Good Shepherd Shahryar. Oh boy. Okay, so the old one, you no longer train the sheep from town center, but they are now spawned just like Divitiacus with those sacred deer. So now they spawn once every down to 15 seconds with the build limit of 12, and villagers get a gather rate from herdables, but they no longer get the conservation, which means one sheep, if I remember correctly, is 100 food, so you get 100 food from one sheep and you gather it faster. And oh boy, okay, I set up a villager with Hammer of Kavek and the Tunic of Collector with average values. I added Sharia, this is the old one, remember, but because we have the gather rate. We can compare this. So herdables versus farms. You can see it's better, but if you take a look at the effect and compare the numbers, it's about, like, if I had to say, if farms have like 1.48, then herdables are like 1/7 of that better. It's about 1/7. So yeah, 1/7, which means if I had 7 farmers and now I would put them on the herdables, that would mean I have like 8 farmers instead of 7. Yeah. So that looks pretty good, right? I have to use H1 advisor though for this, but I get quite fast. I'll be honest, Chariot is not gonna be better later in my opinion for a few reasons. Number one, I need a TC to get those sheep, and yeah, so pretty much it's like one sheep every 15 seconds, and if I want more sheep I need to build additional TCs, which doesn't happen until I age up and get resources for those TCs. So if I start in Dark Age, sure I can use Shahryar, and the advantage here is the herdable gather rate stays. So it's this high from the very beginning, which is really good, which means a lot of food for me. But as we progress later into game, it means, oh boy, I'm saying it wrong. Goddamn. Like I said, one sheep has 100 food. If we, okay, let me hide this a little bit. Okay, let me do this. So if the sheep has 100 food and we gather, I'm gonna round it to 1 point. Okay, hang on. This how it is not clicking. Come on. Let me switch this. Okay, one more time. We divide by 1.6. This is how long it takes one villager to gather all the food from the sheep. So if we get like 4 villagers, it will take 15 seconds. Little over 15 seconds. Which is how long it takes to spawn one sheep. So that means I can put only 4, maybe 5 villagers if I have worse gear, to keep them constantly gathering the food from the sheep. And that's where I see the issue. And let me do this one more time. Okay, this is where I see the issue. So I can put only 4 villagers to keep them constantly gathering from the sheep. And remember, no longer the conservation, so there's no hidden number behind that. So yeah, I can put like 4 villagers. Does that mean I can keep only 4 villagers on food the whole game? No, I need more, right? Which means I'm gonna need additional TC, but that means another 4 villagers on the food. And with all TCs I'll get like 16 villagers on those sheep. Which is pretty huge, I get that. But I cannot rely on that the whole game. Because I need to keep producing those villagers. I also need some army to defend my base. And that costs some food. So I cannot completely rely only on sheep, which means I'll still need to get like farms in the late game. Then I'm gonna ask, why should I get this advisor? Like, okay, it's a good early game boost. I get that. Definitely gonna be good early, but if I start like Silver Age, why should I grab this advisor over like maybe Irene, right? That's what I see the problem with the advisor. Later it's gonna be worse. It's like I have to keep spawning those sheep, I have to keep those villages on them, and I'll have like up to 16. It's good because I get a lot of food from that, so it's a nice bonus. But because it's like 1/7 more than I would get from the farmers, so if I get like 16 of those villages on the sheep, it's like the same as if I had, I guess, 18 to 19 farmers. It's about the same. So like the boost is not that huge, in my opinion, to make it worth late game. But if you're starting early game, it's a huge boost because guess what? You don't have the farming upgrades. And now this is much bigger number in comparison to the farming rate. And you don't even get farms in H1. So yeah, in my opinion, Shahryar is gonna be great in like in quests where you start in a dark age, where you pretty much don't have access to the farms, you don't have access to pretty much when you don't have access to the farms, and like the best gather rates with Shahryar, it's still hunting, but the herdables are now there, and I think the big advantage is gonna be if you don't have access to other food sources, like you're limited on the berry bushes, you're limited on the huntables. There's not many around, but you're starting in the dark age, so you don't really get the access to the farms that early, and you just need the food. So I think Shahryar is gonna be great for quests like, let's say, Valley of Kings, where you don't get much food early, you start in the lower ages, so you can't even get those upgrades for farms, and you just want to get a lot of food. It's gonna be definitely great for those kinds of quests. Those 1.6 gather rate on food, that's a lot of food you can get. thanks to Shahryar. So for me, Shahryar with these changes, pretty much it's about the same, but because it's spawning for free and you don't have to waste the training time on those sheep now, it's definitely good buff in my opinion, and it definitely makes the advisor great for early game quests. But overall, I would still stick to the farms in the late game. If you are having issues early with the food, Shahryar can help you. I might try him a couple times, but who knows how good he's gonna be. Like I said, early game is gonna be really huge with this advisor, because getting the extra food from the sheep, oh boy. Okay, and let's go through this fast now. So level pretty much scouts got removed the bonus damage to huntables, and now buildings get more line of sight. And personally, I was thinking if I had to change this advisor in some way to make him useful even after the scout dies, it would be by increasing the line of sight for buildings. And the change is here, and I'm honestly happy to see this. So it's definitely giving the advisor some value even after the scout's death. So I like this. I wonder if he's gonna get big though, because I still feel like H1 advisors are quite important in some other ways than just increasing the line of sight. So we'll see. It's okay, but not the greatest thing anyway. Okay, Civic. So the repair rate got removed. The buildings now get 40% more resistance to crush and bonus damage. Yeah, it's just gonna be great advisor for defense against siege and maybe some specific units, something like elephants, Babylonian engineers. Excuse me. Yeah, great for defense. I wonder how this is gonna work out. Yeah, I still feel like again other advisors might be more useful, but if you're going more defensive style, yeah, this can be quite useful. I guess more than the repair rate. Okay, Agape, this just got buffed. So from 50% to 75% on both the cost and build time. Just a huge buff. So instead of 2 for the price of 1, you get now 4 for the price of 1. So if you are going Agape before, oh, it's even better. And do I really feel like I want to use him? Personally, I don't really care because I have so much cost reduction gear on my farms that I don't really feel like I need Agape. And I'm even using the milestone from Celeste for cheaper farms, so I don't really feel like I need the discount. And the build time, yeah, I don't really care about the build time that much. But it's a nice change, honestly. Pretty huge change there. Okay, Infantry Sergeant Heraclius, I'm gonna combine this. Archer Sergeant Timon and Cavalry Sergeant Hermolaus. So both, they had the cost lowered from 20% to 12%, but now they also lower the train time by 12%. So this is the combination of the old effect and until the last patch effect, yeah. And personally, I was really sad when they removed the training time and changed it to the cost. So with this change, I'm totally happy because now I feel like it feels more useful. Because why would I go for the discount? Because I have two other choices that are better, and that is Thought and Muikmedon in H2, and they feel much more useful because they affect all units, and I think namely the Thought is the better option in my opinion because it affects villagers, which means I can get my villagers out sooner thanks to the 5% lower training time, and also it affects infantry, it affects cavalry, I can just decide what I want to go with. So adaptable, yeah. So yeah, with this change, it feels more focused on the production of the units than just making them cheaper. Why make them cheaper if I can go the other two advisors? So the train time is gonna be the main difference here in this case. And yeah, if you're focusing on infantry, this is gonna help. I think this is gonna be great, especially the Heracles is gonna be great for the Norse because I totally hate how long it takes for one berserker to train. So, in my opinion, berserkers are gonna be really big again because Heracles is here and Biorix changes obviously put it together. Something big is here with the discounts and training time reduction. So yeah, and Timon, yeah, I feel like you don't really need Timon that much. So if you're losing too many ranged units, it's bad for you. I don't think you need Timon, to be honest. I think you need some meat shield, and in that case, the other two are better. And Hermolaus, obviously, most of these civs just have long training time on cavalry units, so lowering it by 12% is just gonna be great. So personally, I like these three getting changed, getting back the train time reduction. Moving on, Sofia. So pretty much she got increased the gather rate from farms from 12% to 20%, and now also increases the carry capacity by 50%. I guess this is only food and not. It should be food, right? It should. Hang on. If we take a look at the unit stats, yeah, it's combined food carrying. Does it mean that you carry more food from the other food sources as well? I guess that has to be it as well, right? Well, anyway, the 20% gather rate is really huge. So if you're having issues with food, it's gonna help you in H3. And oh boy. Oh, I forgot about Chariot. One thing. I think Chariot is gonna be best used for Babylonians because Babylonian farms are just the worst because you get only the first year of farming upgrades. That's what I forgot to mention. I think about Sofia. Sofia can be interesting for Babylonians, but not really because Babylonians get Gerda. So if you go Gerda with Shahriar, you just have more than enough food and you don't have to waste wood on the farms at all. But for the other civs, if you're having issue with food, is definitely gonna help you a lot. 20% faster gather rate. Um, the carry capacity is something that it's gonna be useful, but is it gonna be that useful? That's the question, to be honest. It's a huge increase, but it also means it delays the drop off by 50% of the work time. Oh, but with the gather rate, I think the total time working is being increased by 25%. So yeah, it's gonna take 25% longer for the villagers to drop off, but they will drop off in bigger bursts. I guess it depends. I like this change. Not gonna lie, I like this change. I wonder how it's gonna work out. And if you're going for some food intense army, Sofia is there for you. Let's move on. Zanter, pretty much he's got buff. So now you get 20% attack rate and attack range on fortresses with the addition of the old effects. So yeah, if you like going for fortresses, Zante helps even more. So yeah, I don't really care about Zante. Zante was fine, especially like the line of sight build is somewhat a meme on those fortresses, so Yeah, revealing like the whole map with Zanter, but like making fortresses not only like tougher to destroy but also more offensive or stronger in offense. Yeah, it's an interesting change. I don't really care about Zanter at all, but it's there. So if you want some strong fortress, it's there. Okay, and that's all for the advisor changes. So tell me what you think in the comment section. There's still some changes, and this one is big. Babylonian Chariot Archer Champion. The old effect has been changed, and now it's minus 20% cost from minus 50% cost, plus 25% pierce armor, and plus 40% line of sight instead of minus 20% health, and the cost has been increased to 1000 gold from 800 gold. Yeah, I was one of those people that actually was getting it because I was like, yeah, I don't really care about the health, and I would rather just get those archers out as soon as possible. But there were also people who disliked it because decrease, the health reduction was just bad. Yeah. So with this, it was like it's good for some people, but it's bad for the other people. So with this new effect, it's just good. Minus 20% cost reduction. That's generally really good. It's weaker, so it's not that strong, but it's still there. Pierce armor is definitely gonna help, and line of sight, it's just a nice bonus. The issue is this affects the legendary quest as well, so you might be fighting stronger chariot archers from now on. So beware that not only they will have more health, they also get additional pierce armor. So yeah, they will be much tougher. So careful there. Okay, nothing here. Bug fixes. Joint forces fixed an issue where some characters being killed by the allied AI caused the objective to not complete. Oh yeah, the AI was just too fast for the players. Oh boy. So now it should not be an issue. And resistance in system quest updates lowered the amount of killed units required to 200 from 300. Some people are just too fast, so we have to lower it. And in both quests, make sure to abandon the quest and accept it again. Remember that, otherwise it's gonna be bugged. Okay, nothing here, nothing here. UI updates. Updated the work account tooltip in the resource bar UI so that it shows the population taken by economy units rather than their number. For example, a 2 population merchant transport will count for 2, not 1. Uh, Pretty much, if you remember where the population is at the upper bar, there's like the button with villagers on it, and the right corner of that button would show a number, which would mean the amount of economy units. And this is what the change is about. So when you hover over that button, it will show you like the number of units of villagers and such. But most important, the number in the corner is now going to show the population, not the number of units or eco units. So it won't be showing you the total number of villagers plus caravans plus transports. No, it's gonna go show you the total population of those units. So it's gonna be +1 per villager, +2 for those transports, +1 for caravans. So that's the change about. And updated the hover over tooltip for the unit count in the resource bar UI to display additional information. Ooh. Yeah, that's when you hover over the button, it will show you like number of villagers, number of caravans, and so on. And that's pretty much all on these changes. Okay, the previous patches had just small changes, and if I had to say which advisor changes I like the most, Probably the most favorite ones would be the Bior exchanges. I want to see how this affects the Berserkers. I think Bjorn is. I like Bjorn. I want to see. Oh, I'm gonna try some Spearman and Throwing Axeman again. And in combination with Agua, so Agua is somewhat good to me as well. And last but not least, Heraclitus and Hermos. I don't care about Timon. Heraclitus and Hermos, those two I totally like a lot. So tell me what you think about these changes in the comment section. Remember, if you want me to go through those champion mode changes, just ask me. If there's gonna be enough people asking for those, I'll consider it. But yeah. Okay, and that's all from me for now. So I hope you enjoy this. And it seems I've been locked out. Okay. So yeah, tell me what you think. If you like this, press the like button. If you wanna see more, subscribe to the channel. And oh boy, I've been talking for too long. Oh boy, it hurts. Okay, this was Psychosaurus, and I'll see you next time. Bye!